I've seen the scores, Ben, and we're hammering people. Are we playing fast?
We are playing fast, coach. We're playing that so fast that a lot of referees tend to stop us now.
Nice. Are you guys having fun playing fast? All right, so Adler guys, are y'all having fun playing fast?
Depends on the weather, but it's pretty nice if the enemy team is not lined up and you can go.
Okay, so today, guys, we're going to talk about player leadership. It's a fascinating topic to me. So we're going to keep this to 45 minutes because I want you guys to lock in, but it's going to be good. So let me share my screen here real quick. So when I think about the Berlin Adler, for you Americans, Adler means eagle. So just think like they're called the Adler. So here's a Berlin Adler. Just go on Wikipedia and here's what it says. It's American Football Club. American Football Club started in 1979 and it gives the Adler history. But here's my message to you players is this is not the Berlin Adler. The Berlin Adler are the player leadership. It's not the coach leadership. It's not the owners. It's not the sponsors. The Berlin Adler are the leaders. And there's a story out there about four guys sitting around a fire. And I'm probably going to butcher it, but I'm just going to give you the Cliff's Notes version of it anyway. But there's four guys sitting around a fire, and all of them have a log, a piece of wood, and the fire's going out. And somebody has a piece of wood, and he thinks, well, anybody ought to throw in their wood. Anybody has a piece of wood, and he thinks, well, I think nobody should throw in his piece of wood. He's grabbed his piece of wood, he's clutched onto it, and he says, I think if we're going to keep this fire going, anybody should throw in their piece of wood. Players, I need you guys to pretend we've known each other for a long time. So we got nobody has a piece of wood, anybody has a piece of wood, somebody has a piece of wood, and nobody has a piece of wood. And they all just clutch into it. The fire is going out. What do you think happens? Okay. Simon, does anybody throw his wood in?
I don't know.
Any of you coaches, do y'all know? Have y'all ever heard this story?
They all just hold on to their wood, wait for somebody to do it.
Sydney, do you think anybody throws it in?
Some of the people eventually have to make the first move to get the fire going to keep everybody warm.
Yeah. I mean, it's freezing, y'all. Like they have to have the fire going. And this is a great story because y'all captains are the ones holding the wood. Coach Lester, tell us how the story ends.
If I can remember correct, Coach, no one throws it in and they all die.
They all die, guys, because somebody thought anybody should.
Mhm.
Nobody thought somebody should. Everybody thought that I'm forgetting one, right? And they all just were like, man, it's somebody ought to do this. No one does it, and they all die. So that is what being a captain is. And okay, so I find you. Am I saying it right, Niels? Is it Niels?
It is.
How old are you, Niels?
I'm 27.
You're old enough for me to ask these kind of questions. As far as being an athlete, what is a piece of wood that a player will hold on to that he doesn't want to let go?
Piece of wood that he doesn't want to let go. Depends on the athlete, but probably his own stats or his health.
It's about stats. Coaches, coaches, I really need y'all to help. And I know you don't want to step on my toes or anything, but I want this to be a coach's office discussion. What is a piece of wood that players you've coached or they want to hold on to and they don't want to throw it in the fire? And Sydney, Simon, you guys, man, I want y'all to don't wait on me to call on you, right? Just bring it.
I might chip in, like, show true emotions and speak in front of a group is like something that might be hard for people.
One I did not think of, really good. True or false? Is leadership great effort. Like, is leadership, I am going to play harder than anybody else. Well, this is a trick question. I used to tell this to my team all the time. I'm missing
I'd
somebody.
I'd say if it's the only thing you do, it's not leadership, but it is a part of leadership in terms of leading by example.
Neil, seriously, that's the best answer I've ever gotten. No one gets that right. It's a part of it. But just showing up and working hard is not leadership. That is the minimum. That's your job. Coaches, let's talk some scenarios because this is going to be more fun. I'm going to start with the first one. So I'm going to give you guys one. And then, coaches, I want y'all to add to this. Coach Womack, you can add a New Yorker scenario maybe. Okay, but I'm going to tell you true stories. And if you know who I'm talking about, I don't care. In 2022 with the Royals, we had one of the best DNs in the GFL, a stud. He had a British passport, but he's played college ball in America, and I spent a bunch of time in America. So he's basically a unicorn, which for you Americans means you can have two Americans on the field at one time. And so if you have a guy with a European passport, he doesn't count against you. When you have two Americans, you can't use one of them at D end. They have to be DBs. This guy was a D end, and he was talented. He was the laziest player on our team. He ended up going to New Yorker sometime at the end of training camp. Training camp was miserable for me. I wasn't the head coach, but I would never allow someone to practice the way this guy practiced. So that captains, tell me, team leadership, player leadership, what's something that you feel like is your responsibility? If that was ever happening on the Adler, how would you handle it? It's a very hard question. Like, I don't, but you can't just go, he's really good. All right, let me start with something easy. Is it Coach Ben's job to fix it? Is it the owner's job to fix it? Whose job is to fix the lazy D end?
Ours, I would have said, because I feel like head coach and us both helpless because we only can force consequences only so far. I feel like it's something that we would have to be together, be on the same page, and then see how to get through to the guy and
Yeah.
then see how to solve that issue.
That's really good. The worst thing players can do, coaches, I would love for y'all to chime in on this. What would most Americans do in this situation, unless you talk about this and coach it? What would most Americans do with one of the best players on the team who's the laziest?
It depends on your standard. If your standard is just get the best player to the game, then that's what's going to happen. No one's going to say anything to him. He's our best player. He's a gamer. All we got to do is get him to the game.
But that's most teams, though, right?
Yeah, no, because I could care less about that.
But I'm just saying 90% of
Yes,
teams in the States,
yes.
or just like in Europe, our
Yeah.
best player, we got to get him to the game.
He's
Mark
game.
Rawls used to say, get him to the field on Saturday.
Yeah.
And so you guys know Adler players. How would this hurt? I don't get personal here with your team, but let's pretend you had something like that on the Adler. How would that hurt your culture?
I think it hurts the trust because like if it's somebody that I can count on game days, but that's not the culture that we're trying to achieve. Like for us, family is a value that we try to get through to the people. But if I can't trust you to show up for me off the field, then I feel like our trust is something that's never going to reach a level that we try to achieve.
Yeah. Leo, are you German?
I am, yes, sir.
I feel like I know all this now, guys, but I used to not know any of this. Everybody in Europe speaks like 3 languages, and Leo speaks better English than Lester. It's pretty cool, like how smart you guys are. Are you guys officially captains?
Yes,
Y'all
we are.
do you ever stand in front of the team and talk to the team?
I did.
What if this DN was on the Adler and you're talking to the team about the Adler way. This is how we do things. We are going to play hard. We're fixing to go to Potsdam, but that D end is, by the way, the whole team is on a knee. Where do you think that guy is in the group? Like
And we're standing up.
standing up in the back. Coaches, don't let somebody stand up in the back. If you're listening to this podcast, don't let anybody stand up in the back because you know what it is. So he's probably standing up in the back. And so, Nils, you're saying all this, but if you know that DN is lazy, do you feel like a fraud?
Not really, because I know there will be probably 20, 30, 40 other guys who don't do the stuff he does. But as Leo said, we can only motivate him to a certain point where we can reach him externally. And motivation has to come internally to be at a level where you need to perform to get to the standard we want.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have it, we can try as much as we want, but there will be sooner or later a breaking point where you have to decide if you want to go with the standard or go away.
You can't kick him off the team, but that's my challenge to you today, okay? 2 things captains have to do. Number 1 is protect the flame. Captains have to protect the flame. So we got to protect the flame. All right. And then number 2 is bring the wood. You can't let one of the best players be the laziest. You got to say something and you got to bring it to the coach's attention, but you can't. Here's what most people do. Captains on my teams, they want to be captain so they could pick out the uniform combination. They want to be captain so they could go to the middle of the field and look cool and get their picture taken. What else do your captains do?
I talk to my captains quite a bit about different things at practice throughout the week. We talk about the uniform combination, the team meal that we're going to eat that week. We had an instance this spring with a guy who we removed from football and wanted to come back, and had done some things throughout the offseason to show it a little bit. I got my captains together, and they made the decision. There's some bigger things like that. Our captains decide on who's moving into the varsity locker room next.
Nice.
They make some bigger decisions other than just what uniform we're wearing and what chicken fried steak we're eating on Friday night.
Coach Carey, tell the captains from Adler, how could they approach the D end? Tell me, and after Coach Carey goes, I'd love to hear from anybody else. Let's take it. All 4 captains say, let's say his name was Joe. Joe, we want to meet with you and talk with you. How would you tell your captains to try to fix this?
Yeah, the first time I would probably be in the room with them. Yeah, I think we are going to sit down with that defensive end. And like Coach Luster said, we're going to talk about what is our standard. And you hear coaches all the time talk about your best player, your best guy should be coached the hardest. And I think the captains need to have a conversation with that young man about what are our standards? Who are we? You talk about your core values, talk about your mantra, talk about your creed, whatever you want to talk about, however you want to word it. But who are we as a team and what do we stand for? We all want to win, but how do we want to get there? What does that process look like? We're all going to wake up tomorrow, win, lose, or draw. Do we feel good about who we are and what we're doing and how we're doing it? And we're definitely going to have a conversation with that young man, the captains, and I as the head coach.
Do you think, guys, anybody else, how would you tell your captains, we got to deal with this?
It's easy to remind the whole team. Our standard is a standard. And what is our standard? Our captains are not picked at the beginning of the year. They're picked weekly. And it's based off of practice. And we grade film, and the guys with the highest grade off of that film are my captains. They're the ones who should shine. They shine all week in practice. So they're the ones that go out for the coin toss. But we meet weekly as captains, and we talk about our standard and what it should look like. My captains have the right to pull guys who are not meeting that standard out of practice. So if you're not going full speed, you have the right. And I teach them how to communicate. It's not a butt chewing. It's not a yell at him. It's that guy who stands next to him has the right to pull that That linebacker
Oh,
has a right to pull. That defensive tackle
yeah.
has a right to pull that defensive end out. On the field during the game, you always see it before the coach will see it. Confront that guy right then and there. Don't wait until I have a meeting to confront him. Confront him right then and there. That one play off could cost you the game. And then you're going to feel bad. Like, we should have said something to him. But you have the moment right there. Don't waste that moment on feelings. When he's doing it right then and there, confront it right then and there, or what you're doing to address is going to manifest. So now I'm watching the best player take a play off. The guy who's not my best player going to take a play off. Now you got a whole squad, a whole defense, a whole offense taking plays off now because that was a standard. If that's not your standard, address the standard. Don't address the player, address the standard. You say, hey, we got to go 100 miles an hour. That's how we do things here. If it's not getting done, you guys as captains have earned that right to speak up and say something. It's also your voice in that room and at that moment. Use it.
That's a
Say
great
something,
point.
address it. So my biggest deal is effort. Man, I can coach your effort. If it's not where I want it, and you know what effort looks like, your coach has taught you all the standard of how to go 100 miles an hour. That's the one thing you can't address. And you're not attacking that person, you're attacking his effort. And if he can't go hard right then and there, then get him out because he's affecting everyone else. You have that right as a captain to do that.
I should have asked this sooner, but think about it. What is the number one job Neil, Sydney, Leo, Simon? What's the number one job of an Adler captain? Just ponder that in your head. Niels, have you ever corrected anyone in practice over effort?
I did also years before where I wasn't a captain, because the standard doesn't only come from the captains. It's a whole team thing. So everybody who gives the effort should be available to address effort if someone's lacking. Probably the number one task a captain in our team has to do is lead by example. So if you don't slack, you lead by example, and then everyone else can look up to you and do the same.
Yeah, I agree. You got to keep the flame by saying something, and you got to bring the wood by leading by example.
Yeah, I also wanted to add,
Okay.
we call those people energy vampires. So we should call them out once we see them. And we also agreed on all the players picking up those people that keep slacking, that don't bring any wood to the fire. Because I think we don't really have the problem that there's like that one guy who's like not really doing anything in practice. It's like more like that people tend to just not follow practice that much because they had a long day, because our working days are a little bit longer than just going to practice or to school before. So this is more like a problem we have. Since it's like a bigger problem within our team, we ask everybody to have an eye for their neighbors and for their teammates and lift them up.
I love it. Great point.
But obviously, it's up to the captains to oversee that. Whenever we have the feeling that there's a mentality problem in this practice, we have to speak up.
I'm talking about something so obvious that it drove me crazy. Sydney's talking about guys going 80% instead of 100, that it's not enough. Leo, in the last practice, how many times did you hear someone say, we got to give more effort? Okay. Is that okay? Is that enough? Are we practicing that hard?
No, I don't think it is. But this is why I'm like, where I hear those things, and Sydney, like, he kind of brought it up a little. This is where I feel like those two worlds are colliding when it comes to playing football in Germany. You had your experiences with Potsdam, and like all of us too, like we have seen GFL1 and we know what it needs. You know, we know what the standard is for us to go the 2 times practice a week. Like, we know that's not enough. We're gonna go lift, we're gonna go extra. That's the bare minimum, like you said earlier. But then you meet people, and this is where I feel like we try to hear them too. That might be connected to a question where, how do you approach people in a way where like it's still beneficial to them, like where we're not chewing them out, or where we're not acting like higher and more and above, but like get them engaged and keep them accountable at the same time.
Oh, that's a good point. You got to say it the right way.
Brandon, can I
Yeah,
chime?
Tristan.
When Coach Luster was speaking, this was running all through me. I loved his passion. I think that all of this should also, as a captain, as a coach, we got to build relationships. If I don't have a really good relationship with my teammates, and everyone is different, you guys have 5 captains. In my opinion, one of the 5. And Randy, I've learned some things from Randy over my years of coaching family groups and things of that nature. Every person on the team should feel somewhat connected to one of the 5 captains. And doing that, you can go approach someone and say, hey, man, like, this ain't getting it. And that might fall hard on that teammate because it came from me. And we've been spending time together. He knows that I'm giving effort, and even to the point of where he might say something to me whenever I'm slacking one day. We're all human. But the point is, if we're building relationships and we know what's helping someone tick, now that's a huge factor that comes into play whenever it comes to getting that knucklehead. I'm a defensive guy, so trust me, knucklehead defensive players at defensive end want to win too, and we're going to get them on the bus. But as Coach said, if it's not up to our standards, then oh well, I need the next guy to step up.
Yeah.
And from a coaching standpoint, playing time is a huge factor into helping some attitudes change.
That's so good, y'all. This is why I invite coaches on here. And Leo, you made a great point. I think your point, Leo, is this, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but the D end didn't have a job. He was that player who just hung out all day. But I had a 38-year-old tight end from Poland who was married, had kids, and he missed practice twice during fall camp or during training camp. He missed twice, and I was mad. I remember saying something to another offensive coach, and he said, no, Coach, you just kind of have to relax a little bit now. Matt's son is sick, and Matt's got this. And he goes, it isn't like high school in Texas. So is that what you're saying, Leo, is if you're going to be a great captain, you have to know whether someone's worked in a factory all day or they haven't? Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, exactly. To have the feeling and to know how to approach somebody.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that because I feel like I can relate to that. To be the guy who is close to everybody. I feel like Coach Ben be calling me social butterfly. I feel like that might be what I'm. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So Coach Abram makes a great point. After this call is over with, the next few days, break your team up into squads and go, okay, Simon, which 20 guys on the team, which 15 guys on the team do you know the most? And you would be the one to fuss, maybe not fuss, but I mean, is everything okay today? If someone's driven 95 minutes to get to practice, he's got a sick kid at home, I would want somebody to approach him like, hey man, is everything okay today? Or you seem a little off. Man, are you good? Now, but if we know the D end has laid in bed all day and hadn't done anything, he should have energy. That conversation could be different. Y'all agree? Simon, go ahead. You got something?
I really agree with all the other points, also with Leo, because I work normally like all the other guys in the team. I work with kids in the school, and I know how it is to speak all days about problems from the kids. Same like motivate the kids or teach them a little bit more than like math or German or something like that.
Yeah.
I do this every time in the same way, like getting in a conversation with the kid. So only him and me talking about your life right now. Maybe what's up at home. Maybe it's the same like with the guys. If you say, okay, the D line or the end is like chilling the whole day and have no work, or maybe he lost a little bit like his own mindset. Maybe like that, yeah, I know I'm good and I can play, but maybe that getting better every day, trying to be a motivator for the other guys in the team, he lose it. So maybe I will talk with him about maybe he has some different problems or something is in his brain making him acting like not like normally in practice.
Simon, I'm going to ask you this. Is it possible we got better when he left and went to New Yorker? All right, coach, quick break. As you know, I love celebrating achievement and tracking and rewarding players for doing good stuff because if you reward them, they're going to do it more. Most all of us, we find ways to reward the measurables: strength, speed, attendance, grades. But the one thing that always frustrated me was the things that matter most, the intangibles, the culture. Those were the things that were hardest to track and quantify. This is why I created OVR. It's a live scoreboard for your culture. It combines the measurable performance, speed, strength, and GPA with the intangibles that we talk about every day but are so hard to measure. So, for the first time, coaches can actually reinforce and reward those behaviors daily. Athletes can see the rankings, earn badges, build streaks, compete daily. That's OVR. It's not just another app, it's daily competition. Your athletes are ready for OVR. Are you?
No, I don't think it's like the team is getting better because he's leaving. I think you really lost a part of his team. So he was there, he did plays, he had good time with the other guys on the field. We didn't talk to him about what happened. It's like we given him up too.
Okay, but let's say Leo, Sid, Niels, any of you guys, is it possible we could have gotten better by losing him?
I'd say there's definitely a chance that you guys got better because he's a playmaker on weekends, but during the week, he's more of a troublemaker than a good teammate and someone that goes for sharpens iron because he's not given the effort he's given on game days. If you get a pack together, they will probably perform better than the individual himself.
Anybody else?
I still think it shows poor character by captains and coaches to exclude him and let him go without trying to understand the player, because I also think it sends the wrong signal to the other players that you let a player go that easily who is maybe actually helping the team but has some sort of problems that we don't know about. So I think there should be some kind of more effort in regard to get to the core problem of that guy. Maybe he's just too bored to be really up to the task at practice then. I mean, he should be a professional nevertheless, but maybe there are deeper problems that we should know about that we can actually take care of or we can mitigate in a way. So I think talking to him on a one-on-one basis might be the key to get through.
Leo?
My answer has changed through hearing the other answers because at first, with Niels, I would have said yes. When you asked the question, coach, and I was like, yeah, no, of course there's a chance that you got better because there's another spot for somebody else to step up and it's going to create some positive drive and energy if somebody is trying to compete for that spot. So that could be beneficial to the team. But I feel like Sid and Simon made good points where we have no further information regarding that guy. Of course, we have met a few Americans who came to play here, and there's been people exemplary and did everything right and more, and others who we came to see that they were behaving or acting like cancer to us. And then I feel like the conversation with the person has to be sought out, and this would be the answer. And then you will see whether this is something that is going to be good for the team. But I feel like regardless, the decision has to be made.
Okay.
So there's something.
Here's the thing, guys. We got about 10 minutes left. This guy was entitled. The coaches thought we couldn't live without him. He'd been with the Royals for a few years and they had babied him. And so he had gotten to where he was above the team. I'm going to give you my answer. We weren't better on the field without him, but we were a better team without him. Now, if we could have reached him, if someone could have reached him, we would have been better. We went to the finals. We were 12-0, got beat by Swabish Hall by 13 points. Maybe we could have won the German Bowl if someone could have reached him and changed him. But if he would have continued to be what he was, I don't know if we could have got to the German Bowl. So I'm kind of giving you both answers here, but a player, I wasn't going to reach him. It had to be his teammates. It's always about the teammates. This is another true scenario with Potsdam. The beginning of the year, we started practice at 1900, I think. And offense, so I was the offensive coordinator. We started like 5 minutes early. In Germany, if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late. I have so much love for the German culture of on time. And I'm going to say this real fast. Before I got to Germany, I Zoomed with a Potsdam coach and I said, tell me something about the GFL that's going to surprise me. He said, he was from Germany. He had played at Dresden. He said, most of our players will not like the Americans. I'm like, what? He said, most Americans are arrogant jerks. They just feel like we can't live without them. Most Americans are not very popular because they just want to score touchdowns and they're not team players. So I just want to paint that picture. So here's our final exam. We started offensive practice early. Defense did not start on time. They just started when everybody got there. I started realizing that one of our American DBs and one of our defensive players from New Zealand, they would show up later than anybody else. They would leave 10 minutes late. Now that we've talked about all this, how would y'all handle that situation as captains?
I'd say the first thing you have to do is talk to him, talk to the coaches if he communicated. Maybe there was something, some traffic jam. So if he communicates that he is late or will be late in time ahead, not only 2 minutes before he got there. So I'm late, coach. We're talking about if you can see that you will be late, communicate it. And if you don't, then you have to talk about the reasons he's always late. So is it the motivational problem? Is it, I don't know, problem finding the right way to practice or
Okay, Niels, I love you, man. You're a nice guy. You're wearing a tank top. You could obviously, if you arm wrestled Coach Luster, would crush him. But I'm just going to say something, Niels. That's a bunch of crap. Okay, I'm saying it with love. All right. They're played every day. They know how to get there and they're not in traffic. They're just late because someone is allowing them to be late. And we all know who it is, right? It's the coaching staff. But are you guys, this is your final exam. What should y'all do about it as captains? And I'm sorry, Niels, I'm a
hey,
jerk.
it's okay.
I just wanted to know, I'm saying this because I love Germans. I can see y'all like you're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but let's just get to the deal here. One is American. He wasn't a bad guy, but they just were what y'all probably think imports are. And they were late because it was being allowed. The culture. It's hurting our team culture. The offensive guys have been going for 15 minutes and they look over there and see these guys walking up and they're pissed. What should y'all do about that? If you were my four captains with the Royals, how would y'all handle it?
Find consequences. In the end, we have a similar problem where we have a team app where you have to say like you're coming or you're not coming, and it's been going for the whole season now, and it appears to be way harder to click that button. And we've been talking about it, but now we came to the conclusion that we need something that shows, and it's finding a new standard for the team and be on time or face the consequences. For us, it's 100 burpees now. And I mean, this is where we haven't found it yet, but for us, the train of thought was find something that hits him where it hurts. If he's a lineman, he probably won't do 100 burpees and he won't enjoy it. So something that the consequence that he's going to face. Different with an import, depending on how far you go. Money is something that everybody needs. Be late again, like €5 off or whatever, but something that, something
Yeah, fine them. I
consequences.
agree. Fine them is a great answer. Let's say they're a local, we're not paying them. Here's what I want you guys to say. If y'all put them in squads and Sid and one of these guys late is in Sid's squad, what are you going to do, Sid?
If he would be late on my squad, like say he's a receiver, I'll probably talk to him within the group, like after practice, that we don't tolerate this kind of behavior. And then he's like not leading by example to me and to the squad. And then I would talk to head coach about disciplinary consequences. I'm not really talking fines here, but not getting the first 2 drives or something in the game might be something that actually hurts, because he's not getting playing time, he's not getting tape. So that's probably something that hurts him the most.
From 1 to 10, what's the Adler culture on being a good teammate? What's the Adler culture from 1 to 10?
Are we rating it right now?
What do y'all think the culture is of effort and teamwork, and we're all in the foxhole together? What's our culture from 1 to 10? Any of you guys?
It's a 6.
Oh, okay. Anybody else?
That's a tough one.
All right.
Germans are also like we are all low balling, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't get it 8, 9, or 10. So I'm
Okay.
also going like 6.5, 7 here.
Okay.
We're kind of in a rebuilding process, so we're trying to get like a new standard here. Like shit hit the fan 2 years ago, basically last year also.
Mhm.
So we're trying to rebuild togetherness, how to be a team, how to look after each other. So we're getting there, but we're still in the learning phase.
Coach Ben, please let me do this again with these 4 guys. This is going to be a podcast, fellas, so 200 coaches will listen to this. I want to do this again. So let's just say, truth be told, the culture's 7.5. And that's okay, right? It's okay. Who's going to get it to a 9? The owner, the coach, or you guys?
We players.
Y'all, the captains are the ones. You 4 guys, I don't want this to end without you guys feeling this responsibility. Y'all are the ones who are going to raise it. So there's a book I'm going to tell you about. I want you to read it if you can. It's called The Captain Class. It's one of my favorite books. It took him like 12 years to write. His name's Sam Walker, but he did a study on dynasties. I think England in soccer had a dynasty. The New York Yankees were a dynasty. I think the Patriots ended up being, you had to win 4 championships in 6 years. But he looked at all these dynasties and he said, what do these dynasties have in common? And he thought, well, it's probably they're all pro teams. They probably all spent the most money. And it took him 12 years. No, the answer was wrong. Then he thought, well, they probably all had the MVP of the league during this run. Wrong. They didn't. So they didn't have the most money. They didn't have the MVP. He thought, well, I bet they had a Hall of Fame coach. Well, all of them didn't. And then he finally figured it out. They all had elite captains. So I used to tell my team this. We could get the best player in Texas to move in. It wouldn't guarantee anything. We could get a millionaire to give us a bunch of money. It wouldn't guarantee anything. But what'll move the needle the most is player-led captainship. So we started studying these captains, and the captains weren't wanting to be on commercials and stuff. They were putting their arm around their teammates. They were the water carriers. They were serving their teams. If you got to fuss at the DN for not being here, then he has to have seen you carry some water before. We all know lead by example. So, of course, you play hard, but he also has to have seen you carry some water, help pick up cones after practice, be a servant. I told the Americans at Potsdam, man, we have to be the best leaders there are because, we have to fight that. Like you guys have to be the opposite. So think about now when we in this call and you guys meet with coach next, but how can you take the Adler from 7.5 to 9? How can y'all do it? Maybe with squads, but it's only going to happen for you guys to take it to the next level is through captainship. It's not fast and wide. I hope you guys enjoy playing fast and all that, but it really is about captains. Coach Velasquez says, I appreciate the honesty from you captains. Best of luck this season. So, Justin, they're fast and wide, and they're averaging about 60 points a game. Ben, please let me do this again, and we'll take it to the next step, guys. We'll continue with this. I thought about maybe showing you guys how to do core values and things like that, but I really feel like today we had to go, okay, you have to protect the fire, and you have to bring the wood. Protect the standard, and hold people accountable, and bring it. Appreciate you guys. So much fun. I got a Berlin Adler t-shirt and I got a Berlin Adler sweatshirt, and I wear them with pride. That's exactly right, Leo. That's about how mine looks, man. So I wear it more than I wear Royal stuff now. So go Adler. See,
I need one.
yes.
Thank you, Coach Jackson.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so much, man.
I appreciate your time.
Be captains.